Of all those goosebumps, this is the goosebumpiest.
Questlove is here and revealing the goosebumpiest part of his new doc, Summer of Soul. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Belke, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5. Starting with Princes William and Harry, who set aside their differences to reunite on Thursday for the unveiling of a statue dedicated to Princess Diana on what would have been her 60th birthday.
It is a poignant moment for them to get together in honouring their mother. Plans for the statue were unveiled in February 2017, ahead of the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's death that August. This is one of the few reasons that the two princes can come together. They are both united in their love for their mother.
The statue is located in London on the grounds of Kensington Palace, which also got a fresh look for the occasion.
Another poignant part of the statue unveiling today was seeing the sunken garden where it's situated. It's been completely remodeled and redesigned, with thousands of new plants put in, including hundreds of forget-me-nots, which were Diana's favourite flower.
In one of 2 People cover stories this week, we're learning more about Britney Spears' fight to end her 13-year conservatorship.
After Britney's shocking court testimony, sources tell us Britney wants big changes.
Like getting her life back.
She alleged abusive behavior from her management team and her conservators.
Jody Montgomery became Britney's personal conservator in 2019 after her father, who still handles her estate, stepped down.
A source close to the situation tells us that Jody has been working with a team of experts to get Britney to a healthy place where she can eventually end the conservatorship.
Since her testimony, Britney's received a ton of public support.
Everybody from her boyfriend, Sam Asghari, who a source tells us is very serious about his relationship with Britney, and even her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, have made clear that they're in her corner. Kevin's lawyer tells us that he just wants Britney to be happy and healthy. It's the best for their sons.
Plus, her mother Lynn and sister Jamie Lynn are helping her.
I've supported my sister long before there was a hashtag, and I'll support her long after.
All right, next up, oh baby. The Hollywood baby boom continues, with number 2 on the way for Cardi B. During Sunday's BET Awards, the rapper revealed her growing baby bump as she performed with her husband Offset and his group Migos. The couple also shared daughter Culture Kiari, who turns 3 this month.
You are going to give a kiss. Give a kiss.
Cardi announced that pregnancy during a live performance as well on Saturday Night Live in 2018. Freida Pinto is also expecting with her fiance Corey Tran. Their first child will make his or her debut this fall. And it's baby number 5 for Ewan McGregor. He and actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead welcomed their first child together, a baby boy. 2 of Ewan's daughters, Clara and Esther, shared photos of little Lori on Instagram. And Gal Gadot's husband Garon is way outnumbered now as they welcome their 3rd daughter, Daniela, to the world. She joins older sisters Alma and Maya. Now onto the Instagrams you've been loving this week. Christopher Maloney's daughter Sophia knows good gifts. As a belated Father's Day present, she framed a now viral Twitter convo from earlier this month about best celebrity sightings. Film critic Matt Zoller Seitz chose his 2007 run-in with the Law & Order star, in which Chris apparently struggled to control 2 toddlers at brunch. One of those kiddos? Sophia, of course. And Rob Kardashian is raising a superhero. His daughter Dream rocked playtime this week, dressing up in Wonder Woman accessories. Talk about girl power. And Sherry Shepherd is sharing her secret to weight loss, revealing that she started her journey 8 months ago, and it was lifestyle changes that helped her lose the pounds, including sleep, meditation, therapy, forgiveness, and finding her worth. Sherry said it best, peace makes the weight fall off. Moving on to our second People cover story this week. Tamar Braxton is opening up 1 year after surviving a suicide attempt.
That time in my life was so dark and so heavy. I didn't see how I was going to, come out on the other side. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that it was another side.
Those dark days followed over a decade of reality TV stardom for Tamar, who says constantly being in front of the camera took a toll on her mental health. Now she's on a journey to heal from her past traumas and says her son Logan is one of the main reasons she's reclaiming her life.
It was tough because how could I be this role model for him? How can I be his first example of the woman in his life, and I'm disappointing him every day? And so I just didn't want to continue to be a disappointment for him. I chose to change my life, and I chose to be positive. And I made the decision to not let this situation become my story, but to change my own narrative and be the best person that I could be.
Our thanks to Tamar for sharing her story. Now, let's switch gears to some screen time. I'm so excited to be joined now by Questlove, who's making his directorial debut with the documentary Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised, which chronicles 1969's Harlem Cultural Festival. It premieres in theaters and on Hulu tomorrow.
The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
For these final 5 minutes of the show, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you have to give me 1 answer. For question number 2, you have to give me 2 answers, and so on. Let's get started. Summer of Soul highlights the healing power of music during times of unrest and is described as part music film, part historical record. And it features never-before-seen concert footage of Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and so many others. And it's basically been lost for over 50 years. Most of it has never been seen until now. What is one scene or moment that you're most excited for viewers to finally get to see?
What I call the summit meeting between Mavis Staples of the Staple Singers and gospel great Mahalia Jackson. This is a year after Martin Luther King has been assassinated. Everyone pretty much knew that his favorite song was Precious Lord, and it was sung at his funeral. Mahalia Jackson at the last minute asked Mavis Staples to help me sing the song. All the musical performances were goosebump magic, but of all those goosebumps, this is the goosebumpiest.
In addition to being a drummer in The Roots, you're also a DJ. Last month, you played your first public show since the pandemic began. What are the 2 things you miss the most about DJing in front of a live audience?
I was raised in show business and I've been traveling since the age of 5, so I kind of like getting up at 4 in the morning with a purpose and getting to the airport and wondering which movie I'm gonna watch on the airplane. That gig was in Miami, so I'm also thinking about, is the Cuban restaurant that I used to frequent, are they still open? Are the best empanadas there? It's, for me, I love playing music, but I love everything else about my gig.
A huge passion of yours is food. You've hosted countless food salons and written numerous books on the topic, and your mixtape potluck cookbook helps readers plan the ultimate dinner party. So I have to ask, now that the world is reopening and people are getting together again, what are your 3 musts for a great dinner party?
Number 1 is always iced. My girlfriend and I just purchased a farm upstate. I'm now realizing that I live in a 4 p.m. town. The general store closes, that sort of thing. So finding ice is almost imperative. Also hard to find good cutlery. And snacks are vital.
What is on your farm? Do you have animals?
Right now, I don't have animals that I particularly want there. There's always deer to greet me on my property, and there's more rabbits than I care to want to see. I think 15 rabbits is enough. If you have 15 rabbits on your property, there's probably 1,500 rabbits that I don't see.
The Roots are, of course, the official house band of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and you've been a part of the show since 2014. What are 4 aspects of the job that keep you coming back season after season?
Number 1, I enjoy, I don't call this The Tonight Show more than I call this 30 Rock University. Access to watching other creatives do things, that's always a plus. We have a lot of chefs on the show, so some of the best chefs in the world come here and I get to watch them create and eat their creations. My dressing room is a studio, so I've recorded and created more music in my time here, and it's still fun. Like, every day there's something silly that happens. I love it.
Is there something recently that's happened that's been very silly that kind of sticks out?
We used to do a bit on The Bachelor that we stopped doing because of the pandemic. Tariq and I got to do our Bachelor sketch.
I would never do anything to hurt you.
That was kind of silly.
Are you a huge Bachelor fan?
I've never watched The Bachelor. I got 19 other jobs.
That is true. Is there one show, though, that you'll sit down and watch if it's on?
I fell down a few rabbit holes I never expected. A friend of mine who's a writer on SNL, she wanted me to see her Selling Sunset sketch.
Penelope, it's time for my morning tea.
And I'd never heard of Selling Sunset. Well, let me just watch one episode and then I'll see. And then next thing you know, like I had to watch the whole entire arc, all 3 seasons.
And finally, what are 5 things viewers are going to see in your new documentary, Summer of Soul?
The gospel performances are, I've not seen anyone who hasn't cried yet during that portion. You're also going to learn a lot about musicianship and expression, the hairstyles and the fashion. That to me is just as important. Then you get to see people right at the crest of something amazing. And you're also going to just see truth.
Taxi won't take me out. Catch a train. I go underground. I get that just the same.
And that's important.
Questlove, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, be sure to watch his new movie, Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Cannot Be Televised, when it comes out in theaters and on Hulu tomorrow. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.